Hello, we are in the middle of the night over here, it's so quiet. I want to point out a very important thing about what's going on in the collective, and it's touching what I already talked about, and it was related to the anger. I did this video for Italians, but I didn't do the sun. But I didn't spoke about this yet with the rest of the world. So I'm coming back to this. Let's wrap it up. I want to point out that, and this is a data that I already been observing and contemplating with the psychiatrists, doctors of any level. The narcissism, 90% or almost 80% is not healable. So I say again, the narcissism, 90% is unhealable. Okay, and the narcissism is on a pathological way, is not so spread in the world like anybody, in the tarot reader, astrology, whatever is the case with the healing. They say, oh, you're not. Okay, so we want to clear this out for forever and ever. Okay, so as I said, the narcissism is 90%, 80%, 90% unhealable, because the narcissist, when he's narcissist, choose to be like this, and it's absolutely conscious of what it does. Then you can also go to Carl Jung, you can also go, I'm not here with my rage or, kind of that is really what it is, okay? Then, so it's very important to do this. We got the lion, the line, sorry, of the narcissist. And then we got the our society. Our society is mostly impacted by this kind of patriarchal, egoist, slash narcissist, slash psychopath, slash go on, with your own perception, what you've been seeing. So there's a confusion over here that we got to clear about. Why? Because you say, oh, it doesn't matter. Don't be so. Now I'm here for, again, as Pluto in Libra, I'm here to make absolutely clarity on this. And then my function is that whenever I speak and say what others don't say, then in the other channels, like 1,000 subscribers and followers interacting on that, the thing is spread. For me, it's okay because you are now working. But the matter of the fact is that before this individuated soul, Carl Jung soul, didn't speak, you were in the shit, in the chaos, and you are, as you sorry, if you are in my channel, you're so proud of it, but I just want to point this out because okay, let's stay focusing what I was saying. So what happens here is that when I say the thing is waved through the collective. And so if I wasn't there, if I didn't say the thing, nothing has been changed that much. Okay. Most of people during my life, they try to steal the information. But now I'm talking about those who got the Holy Spirit in between. So they don't steal it, but they utilize what I say. And I say, oh, thanks. There's a soul that, exactly the same when I see a soul doing or saying something that I was perceiving, and now, during these times, because you gotta go to the sun in Libra, oh my gosh. Wait, I'm getting there. And now it's okay. So now it's time to say the thing. Yeah. So again, the narcissism is not healable when you find. But we got a line. Okay, let's say for example, let's make like this. So this is the narcissist line. You know, those who are narcissists, they will never heal unless one day they will decide to do that. But most of the times, the more they recognize it, the more they get stuck and try to find other ways to reinforce that. Okay, so they are not all pure souls. So we got okay, and then we got the other line. Because I remember many years ago, it was 2015 also, I had a quantistic healer teacher, and she told me that anybody of us somehow, some way is narcissistic. But since we now it's 10 years later, and so I work with that information. It helped me a lot to see what was the percentage of narcissism that I could embody. But she was more referring to the ego. So now that we are 10 years after, it's time to understand better this one. We've been through COVID, we've been through different pandemics. So you are very capable to understand the infection effect. So what happens here is that this one, the pathological, sometimes is a greatest harm for entities and dark forces and whatever. And so it's like a puppet in a society. So shouldn't be Trump or whoever. It could be anyone. All right, the narcissist. And then we have this line. In this line, there is a people that is somehow, some way infected by the narcissist or by the narcissism, hurt because they've been hurt, or so. The way to respond through the ego and through the transmutation of what is going on in the interaction with this source, with this type of energy, sometimes it's not that clean, and so you might find that people who is very, it's not narcissist, it can heal, but they behave with different tones of narcissism. You got it now? So what happens here is that we can make a lot of examples, and we are getting to the examples now. Okay, so this is the information. The other information is the rage. Been talking about the rage as an energy that is playing out right now because you've been overwhelmed by the lack of decor and the lack of consciousness and delicacy and politeness, whatever you want to call it, of people that they don't want to work on themselves, especially during these times that we had eclipses, because as you know, the eclipses windows and all the transits that we've been having, included the Lion's Gate, that is is whatever is the, even when there was no Aries, there was no Chiron there, there was no Neptune there, there was no Saturn there. The Lion's Gate in Leo is, who are you? Do you remember you as a soul? You gotta come out. So every year the Lion's Gate is about that. Okay, then we had all this transit, blah blah blah, and we had just wrapping up, and we are in the eclipse seasons, yes. So those who didn't work on the fucking full moon in Pisces, they are coming in these windows of 2 weeks. Somehow, some way, they are coming and say, oh, why you are so happy, why you are so calm, why you are so centered, why you are so liberated. Let me suck you a little bit. It cannot be. So that's what's going on. And your duty and responsibility is to claim your magnetic field and avoid to be sucked by the one who didn't want to work. So that's why I got to refer to the line of the narcissist, the annealed, the annealable, and the one who is a narcissist at these different times. See for example, people who is jealous, who is envious. You know, people can be envious even if they are not narcissists. They're just envious because they are lazy. They don't want to work on themselves. They watch at themselves and they see, I got to work so much, and you know, you show me so much stuff about me. So even if you are not a narcissist, you can be, you know, okay. And that's one. How do we deal with the rage? And now we go to that. First of all, since you are told that this is what can be triggered in the air, you just gained a lot of knowledge in the moment that you received information, and so no, I'm not touched. So the rage is something that you got to deal with, and the rage is the first stone to transmute your energies, coming from the first chakra, and it is connected to the survival, and in a more not so alarmed way, like you don't have to survive because we are not, you know, at that level. It's related to the death. Yeah, it's so beautiful. You know, the first chakra is very punk. You know, it's like death and sex. Let's say death and sex and alcohol. You know, it's about this or that. It's about in this frame that I'm explaining it. It's about the force of the light, the life, and it's coming from the root. You are sitting on the root. So if the root is shaking, there's an earthquake. If you come into my where I'm standing and basing my entire temple or magnetic field, it comes kind of shaking that what are you fucking doing, you know? So that's why people that is in the past, they protect themselves in every shape and form with the light, and they got to be accountable in doing this almost every day, especially if there are sovereign, I'm going to introduce you this Jungian term, sovereign empath, because the empath is just the empath. It doesn't, you know, it's there. And I'm talking about the sovereign empath. Now, my teacher didn't want to call her, didn't want to call empath. She said, is sensitive. We are all sensitive, you know. And so the level of the sensitive, because there is a difference. The empath is the one that is the victim of the narcissist. While if we are sensitive, we are the priest in tune. The priest and the priestess in tune with our intuition. We perceive what's going on in the magnetic field, in the collective, and so on and so forth. Whatever is the field of your expertise or mission. So you can be a doctor, you can be an astrologer, you can be a healer, you can be a Reiki, you can be whatever, or you can be many of those together, which is quite common and normal during these times, because we have to encompass all the slices of the consciousness of the godness into what we do. So we cannot operate without the other's information. It's just like a doctor, an ordinary doctor, that in order to say, okay, you got your liver gone, liver you know, that needs to be healed, and they don't contemplate your teeth, or they don't contemplate your food or your psoas or whatever it is. You say, well, the real doctors in the 80s, so I'm not talking about, futuristic things, where they got the total knowledge of the body, yeah, and then they choose their field where operating, so. And so the same thing is the healer. The healer got to know, so the more you know other you got all these elements that can coincide and interlace to have a more to have a deeper understanding of what's going on. Okay, of course this is not for everybody. It's more for those who are more digging, and the more digging normally are the people that are very alone. And I want to remind you also Chiron, the Chiron archetype, because Chiron is not the healer that is coming and say, me, I got to compete with your own healing. And the Chiron is the one who is staying in the laboratory, and he will be finding the medicine that nobody found yet. So put yourself in this place, because I still see that there is a kind of level of competition still. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so fucking alone in this world, which is completely beautiful, because this is my, how can I put it? This is a blessing. It's a blessing because I don't have to waste my time in staying in some circles that they don't get it yet. And I can pioneer what I got to say, and then God spread it out, and somehow, some way, is waved through the collective. Okay, and you also want to know, and what about the money? And what about the? Don't worry, the abundance is flowing, and find a way to flow. So it's not you come on my channel, then you pay me, then it's spread out because you got. That's not my stuff. My stuff is more about. The upper, so don't confuse me with who do you think you are, but get me like I'm operating from highest, because I'm also Aquarius Sun and Scorpio Moon, so I've got this. And so most of the times people don't want to go so deeper. Most of the times people don't want to go so higher. So it's not only a process of individuation, like any soul can be in the process of individuation, but it's more about also targeting exactly what. And in this case, I'm absolutely alone. There's some beautiful souls, a few, very, very few, that taught me that even among the star seeds, even among, the sun, even among this blah, 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 I am the only one, able to do that. And so they encouraged me to do that. They didn't tell me, they didn't tell me, like, oh my gosh, I've got the 600, followers on my channel, and you are, like that. No, I cannot, okay. I got a business, I saw a seller, and you are coming, it doesn't work like that. All right, okay, let's go forward. And then we have the Hierophant and the Justice. So this is the matter of the structure. How do you structure the justice? How do you structure the justice when somebody is making you angry? How do you structure your way to respond to those who want to compete with you? This is all about Chiron, yes. Chiron and Aries. So, I just want to say something that got to relate to this. So normally, as I said, once you get the information, you say, okay, during this week, okay, there will be people that will try to trigger me. Okay, I'm done with that. It doesn't work like that, because when you are under this psychological and energetic weather, even if you go to the Himalayas, or when there's nobody, you are triggered somehow, some way. What I can say is that, of course, once you know this, you are 60% set up, because you acknowledge the data of the healer telling you, or the astrologer telling you, check this out, because then you get angry, don't follow it, don't send it back, all the stuff. But don't keep on overwhelm your nervous system and all that, your emotions. But you gotta deal with that. So the first thing is that you acknowledge it. The second one is that once you know it, is, you could say, I put myself in the situations where I don't have people try to trigger me. So you focus on what you on your care, on your project, on your work, and so you don't deal with the ones who, and that's another one, which is very good. And then you got to protect yourself also on astral plane, with every shape and form. So your magnetic field up to going through the crystalline grid, because until you don't touch the crystalline grid, this stuff is still there somehow, some way, because it's reproduced by the old grid. All right, so you got to check this out as well, because sometimes, are you really in the 5D grid, working in the 5D, or are you still, because the thing is repeating. That's why most of the people, and here again is the narcissist, all right, most of the people, and we got the narcissist here, the one who doesn't need, and then we got these people that say, I don't want to dismiss the old, just want to be healer with the Holy Spirit, this and that, and I still want to. So sooner or later, this one will have to, when it's their time. Okay, when you come to me, I already operate from the crystalline grid, the 5D crystalline grid. So there's no way that the things are repeated. That's why because I'm not so commercial that way, because normally people want that the client come back in order to have, again, for me, for those who are so clever, like you cannot be out there, I'm sorry, many of you cannot be, it's more about, I hope the client comes back tomorrow so I can pay my rent. And for me, it's totally different. For me, is I hope it doesn't come back for that, and eventually it will come back for something else, or it will bring me another client, or it will dig into something else that is not healed yet. So this is more my marketing education, and this was like this even when I was in my school education. This is an information that is coming from can we call it 3D? I don't think it was a 3D anyway, because the real marketer is the one who satisfies you up to the point that you okay. All right, of course. So that's the rage. The rage is also okay. And now we come back. We come to the most important thing, because this is okay. I laugh about it because people say, okay, already done with that. It is transmuting all the anger. Okay, let's say that in order to not having not experimenting rage, which is what I really wish you, because underneath the rage there is the pain. So the pain, let's come back again to the first chakra, okay? Don't touch it. It's not because I am a beast, I want to destroy everything. It's the same rage. Don't touch my roots. Don't touch the base of my house, of my temple, of my spine, of my physical body, and with all the other bodies, the emotional, etheric, cosmic, and so. But why you don't touch it? Because otherwise there will be sorrow, and you don't want to experiment sorrow anymore. You already experimented the sorrow. So the first reaction is, which is totally good, is acknowledging that you are going to be fucked somehow, some way. So what you do is avoiding to be, but there are 1,000 things that we don't contemplate. I say the collective is make me laugh. The one who would like to, ghost in me, even in the healers, that would like to ghost me, that would like me to put, yeah, we will say that, and they do, but then they're not able, because it's coming from to say it all, and that's why I understand why you ghosted me, because you couldn't do that much. So I treated like you were the same, and it's not. Why am I saying also this? Because we are going to have an air grand trine after the solar eclipse, okay? And this air grand trine, it's all about along with the sun in the sun will still be in the new moon. Okay, let me tell you exactly. It's quite strange this month, because this is the second new moon in Virgo, but the day after, the Virgo season is finished. So what's going on is that we have the Virgo new moon again, but the day after we are in Libra with the Grand Trine. Okay, so this means that we are going to work with our communication, relationships, and interaction. Now, it's okay when you had your Reiki, you had your beautiful time with your friends, with your loved ones. So the beautiful thing, what you got to do is surrounding yourself with the people who are, if you don't have any channel, also you don't have people coming to you and say what a fucking awesome you are, and so on and so forth. You have your guides. You have Jesus, you have Shiva, you have Lakshmi, you have Ganesh, you have you have your angels, you have we are not talking about we are talking about the primordial forces, right? So you go to them and you fulfill your stuff. So what the but since the system and the patriarchal energy and the reptilians, so reptilians are here. So you got the reptilians, the Masonic, those stuff, and everything that can be seen, because it's very through rituals, through moves, transactions, new laws, anything that cannot be seen, from the 3D. They touch the narcissism, and the narcissism is the page for touching those ones who want to liberate from narcissist conflicts and all the stuff, and go competition, whatever it is, but it's still going on if you don't watch it down. So what we're going to do is surrounding ourselves. But when you are connecting with your guides, they are also trying to disconnect you from your guides, or somehow, some way. But that's another, maybe it's too much talking about those. We will say this in another one. Anyway, you got your ones. So, and that's one. So anything that is more matchable, your frequency, is what you need. Then you have your life. Okay, you got your work, you got your job, when you go about your day, you go in certain situations where the the level of the frequency is more chaotic, or is you are coming from the delta, alpha, delta, theta, or frequency with your loving ones. Even your cat and your dog puts you in that kind of frequency, and then you abruptly go to the office, to the student, and you are in the beta. The beta is not something bad, but because it's just just the frequency that it's where the whole world is operating. Yes, but you can also be beta and at the same time connected to your intuition. Okay, anyway, we got to beta because I got to show you. Beta is beep beep bah, 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 okay, all this stuff is beta. You are at the post office, you are parking your car, whatever. Okay, when you are overwhelmed by the beta frequencies and there's a trigger of rage, you are not, especially if you, this is also, now Virgo told you, stop living in the beta like that, because then you are overwhelmed. When somebody's coming to you, you are overwhelmed. If your child is peeling another layer of your, you explode and whatever. That's what you got to acknowledge, But you got to consider that there will be always, it can be that you are, you have to rush some way. And so your level of energy is slowing down. You're a little bit disconnected, a little bit more disconnected also from your guides and wisdom and this and that. And at this point, you say, what the fuck? So here, everybody, the world at this moment, yes. But then don't worry. After 24 hours and 72 hours they will get, and they will all also sell you something. No, it's not about me envying them, because I don't envy a fucking anything, Me, I'm not that kind. Me, I'm the one who has been envied all the life. So they will give you the product and bypassing me. I hope they will recognize me somehow, some way, in their heart at least, because like I do, because me, I do this, they don't. Okay, but they will get there one day, who knows. So what's going on here is that you got to learn, and this is something that I discovered by myself through my own healing many years ago, and you got to apply it, and you got to reset this tool. There will be time when you will go default. Default means, what the motherfucker, you bitch, you this and that. Even if you want to send their light at the moment, you are so tricked, overwhelmed, this and that you will. Oh. So in order, okay, me, I'm always sent by God for the shitty things that normally people, healers, don't touch. And that's why they keep on rolling, because if you don't watch, me, I'm watching from, okay, and from, yeah. All right, so what happens here is this one. Consider there will be the time where you will say, why don't you die? Why, whatever it is, okay? And you don't have to, maybe not, but sometimes we tend to do this, yes. I'm not saying about, oh no, yes, of course, you acknowledge everything you've been praying, if you say, you don't say that in default, but when you're overwhelmed, your subconscious stuff is coming up, your pitta is coming up, and there's no way to stop it, right? So there's a different part of the brain and the being where the old memories are stored. But when they are, and this is what I been studying and what I learned. I didn't invent that, just like I didn't invent that the sun tomorrow at dawn will rise. So take it at the same way. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to get opinions. Yes. So when the pitta is hit, even if you are an angel or star seed, you did the best of it, blah, 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 blah. What happens is that, and your nervous system is starting, of course you react. What you got to do is protecting yourself and the others from this default, which is something that is not, I'm sorry, nobody ever talk about this. They say to you, okay, this happens, but then, you know. So what I been working with, learn to do is that when you are working with your, for example, let's say that you're working with your parents or something that it has been, you know, whatever it has been abusive or very hurting, whatever it is, yeah. Somebody violating you in a very abrupt way, whatever, or it's happening to somebody else, yes, like the worst in the world. Children, women, you know, this guy and this other. But now I want to focus more on you. Because even if you are so compassionate, so profound, so there is less contact with somebody else than with your own inner self. So when it's about somebody else's crime, somebody else's this and that, you are less touched. But if it happens to you, you are 100% touched. And that's why when people say, oh, are you talking about not me? You're talking about them because me, I'm the, yeah. And right, okay, yeah, okay. Because if it's about you, and I say, look, what are you fucking doing to me, baby? No, it's you. Yeah, you that you are a star seed. Yeah, you that you are a tarot reader. So famous in the world, whatever is the case, yes? Do you have it? Or do you have the capability to, okay. So what's going on here is that you got to protect your field in order to be vulnerable, because the rage got to be expressed sometimes. And when it will be expressed, it will hurt. And there is no transmissions, affirmation, therapy that will stop it, unless by working on that, you put yourself in another state and slowly you won't be at that level. But it will always happen that you are in 1 second in 24 hours or 5 minutes or 1 hour, maybe 1 second is not so important, but you know what I mean. So what are you going to do that? Then you got to come back home. But when you are out of center and you want to show that, because you are vulnerable, this also is important because you got to give expression. But when it doesn't work, and when you give it to the expression, you also got to understand the limit between, are you healing it, or are you keeping on reproducing it, you know? That's another. I said it again because it's not so obvious out there. When you say he did, or when you talk about the third person, you know, my child is feeling like this. Okay, are you able to put it out in a way that it doesn't destroy yourself and it doesn't emit a dark vibration out there, or not? Yeah. Because this is a point that there's no healers out there with this. I just say, if there were healers like this, they would talk to me. So it doesn't exist yet. It exists when you are in your bubble. When you say to your angel, leave the bubble all the way through the day. Yeah. But when you are that type of, I want to shout, yeah, I want to cry, are you emitting the frequency into your body system first and then out there? Then with the out there, there's another problem that you're also sending them shit back because they triggered you. So there's two ones. So you got to be protecting by your own. You got to be. So in order to do that, you got to protect yourself. Can you do that? And so I put some kind of villain out there. Those who, of course, I will be able to sell it. It's not that I say the secret, you piss on my face and you apply it. Also because it doesn't work, since if you piss on my face, you're ultimately you're ultimately out of the frequency. All right. Okay. So that's what's going on over here. I gotta say this, guys, because I am tired. Now I show you how it works. Anyway, I am tired of raising up, and the more I raise, the more I upgrade, the more I get, and I keep finding the same. Yeah. So I really want to have my role in the society, and YouTube, it's part of the society. Yes. Okay. Anyway. So, okay, you got to protect yourself from yourself. And there should be a veil where, on a metaphysical, scientific, and emotion, or whatever, is not spread in the system. And it doesn't touch the other person as well. Otherwise, it's ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong. It's not because you gotta be sane. Nobody of us is sane. Don't take it from the corner because it doesn't work. You gotta watch it from... So, like attracts like, yes? Whatever it is. And so, whenever we are in those dysfunctional emotions and we are working on them, and let's say that you are working on them, but you are going about your day, and at the same time, why? That's why came this one. At the same time, okay, let's say that you are working on the wound, but you are in the office and you get it. Hello, may I help you? Of course, you got it, because that's another part of you. It's not that you are faking. Yes, you got it. So on an operative system, you are. It happens also to me. I have my clients under my, and then So this too. Okay, that's why we got the hole around it, because this was manifested. And then the other side, we got, may I help you? Because this is your work, whatever is your job. All right, whatever is your job. So when you are in front of the person and you get this, you get a balance, right? You can also cry in the street. It might also, yeah. And here, I gotta stop here, guys, because there's 1,000 of examples. And we gotta make another video on that. But what I want to say, to help you, is that, just to make you understand how it works, yes, you gotta have your protection. But you can stop this, because this gotta come out. All right? So this is the situation. Well, in the other situation, when you've done your job, that's what you know. I'm fresh, I received the session, I'm more healed, I feel better, and you're like this. And your contentment. So the wound, the trigger wound is not coming out at the moment, yes? That's another. Yeah, I'm talking about this. Sorry. Okay? And you're stressed. Everybody's shouting. Children are unpolite and, you know, splitting. There's the ambulance siren. There's the police siren. There is the, you know, whatever. And you gotta say, can I help you? Because that's your job. You chose it. Yeah. And you keep on choosing it. All right. So tell me now. All right? So you need help for that. And since my light workers are there, they've been treating me like this. I want to see if they can help you go there. Because normally me, I don't have problems. I'm not living in that timeline. When I say somebody, oh look, he tells the same fucking thing I would say. Let's speed the process. I give it to you and do that. Because it's the same thing I would say to you. For them, it's not. Then they take it and you realize it. I say, okay, God, all right. Do you think that God is okay with that? Don't say bollocks to your, to your followers or clients or, okay. Why am I pointing this out? Because, guys, we are going to have this shrine. And let's see what this shrine is about. Just a little bit, but we're going to make another one. Where I'm not talking about the narcissists or, whoever was the kind of blah, blah. I'm talking about those who were that you, I mean, I'm receiving this before you. Because normally people, I'm not talking about the ones who are jealous and envious. These people is not jealous and envious. They love me somehow. But they don't want to, They gotta acknowledge that, and they gotta work on that, because at this level is soul meeting a soul again in this life. What were you? What were we in a past lifetime that you're treating me like this today, baby? And this is also information, very important information. When I was talking about twin flames and soul and karmic and souls and karmic, I said that it's more painful at the level of the soul and the level of the flame than at the level of the karmic. Even the narcissist that destroyed your life for 20 years, it was, it's even more painful, because that toxicity, that from that type of person you can expect more. The narcissist or the abusive person. But what about the one who has been working with you, the one who you told, that guides you, the one who, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden you say them like this. It's not because they were faking. They were absolutely true. There was this interaction, there was this concept. And then all of a sudden, why? Because something happened. I told you so many times, guys. Something happened in Atlantis. Something happened in Lemuria. And we have also a past that goes 300,000, millions years. And we don't know what happened at that time, yeah. Everybody talks about Atlantis and Lemuria like it was a beautiful thing. We were all loving each other, you know what I mean? Which is not. So you better check that life better. And then which time of Atlantis, which time of Lemuria, which time of, yeah. So evident, guys, that even in the communities of light, we are not you. For me, that's no problem. Because if I enter in the community, I say, let me speak about my gifts, let me speak about what I see, and you don't see, you should be open. Or are you still measuring? Or are you still measuring me by the visualizations? Or, because me, I'm working, I'm sick of working, I'm so happy. Anyway, Imagine, if I have 1,000 subscribers, this world will be, the golden age. I'm not that type of thing. I'm more on, wow, the Knight of Cups. I'm more, so that's, I say to you this because it's so that you can value and reset the vibration. Because you base the vibration on how many people is there. No, me, I'm for the few. Me, I'm for the few. Let's see if it happens again here. That's my guidance. I'm for the few. I'm not for everybody. And I'm for the few healers. Then when I'm for everybody, I speak in a way that I can get to anybody. But now I'm getting to anyone from the epics where nobody is there. Not because you gotta see them. Not because you are on the pedestal, the epics, because you gotta see them. Okay. The Fool. Oh my gosh. Deep cellular healing with Arthurian's physical and emotional healing. Because when you do this with Arthurius, it's, something else. Can you go directly to Arthurians? Or you need somebody bringing you to them? Me, can do that. I go directly. I know the road, I know the street, I know the highway, I got my motorcycles, and I got there. You? What about you? You need the healers. So start to consider this when you see the value out there of people. Water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Yes, of course. And baby steps. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Yes, because it's coming from our waters, our clear waters of perception and intuition. So it's over. It's definitely over. I'm not gonna be the same anymore. You quantistic yourself and your tribe and put me alone. I do my own stuff as well. And you will receive the effects of what you've been put through. Talking to these guys, yes? You see? So that's all. You understand now why? You understand now why? Okay. Alright, so consider that, ponder that, and I'll see you in the next video. Because, the ways I keep on talking about something else. So consider the ground trine, air trine interaction. And okay, you don't want me? Thank you, God. I can finally see my tribe. Where is my tribe? I'm gonna build my tribe. I'm not part of other tribes. That's what you want to say to me, yeah? You're not part of my tribe. Even if you are part of a tribe. Because there's still so many things that they got to work on. Okay? And this, of course, it's not so straight. Of course, you can go there, and but you are not that kind of thing that, anymore. So there is a twist here. And this twist is very loud. So I cannot ignore that. Okay? And so, of course, it's a blessing in disguise, because I thought it was, oh my gosh. And then I say, no, this is a blessing in disguise. And I say, okay, there's a grand trine. Wow. Okay, got it. Okay. And finally matching people. I'm matching, healers and those who are working on, because guys, in order to follow me, you gotta be your own client first. Are you healing yourself? Me, I'm working, I have been upgraded. That's what I want to say. I'm working for those who help others to heal. Like never. I already knew that. But like never. After I've been treated over the, this signal, this thing that just happened, like never. Yeah, and I'm ready for that. It's okay. That's why I've been so much challenged by everywhere. Okay, 11:11. I'll see you.